All right, so now we're on to the first S, which is serve. To bless our neighbor, we want to serve them. So what is one task you guys like to avoid? We did eat. Yep. There's no, no there's two S's. Well, you can always eat again, right? What is one task you like to avoid? Yeah. Okay. It could even be, what is a thing around the house you like to avoid? Fish filters. Okay. You want to explain that just so everyone, we're getting to know each other at a deeper level here today. So do you guys say you have a tilapia farm, or is that not correct? Okay. Okay. Does Joe know that? Okay. All right. All right. All right. So what else? What are some other tasks you're like, oh, I just don't like to do that? Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, so we're talking about serving people, and sometimes it's not pleasant things, right? The greatest act of servitude that Jesus did aside from the cross was washing the feet of the disciples. I remember reading this little kids devotional to my children when they were younger. I forget, it was it called The Greatest Storybook Bible? It was written by someone who was in Tim Keller's church, Redeemer Church in Manhattan. And they went from Old Testament, New Testament, a lot of pivotal stories to show how Jesus is the hero of the whole narrative of the Bible. And the story about Jesus washing the disciples' feet was called Stinky Feet. So that has stuck with my kids and with me to this day, because it really helped you understand, like, that was the lowest act of servitude in that culture. And yet for Jesus, he kind of took the crown off and put on the towel and was like, this is not beneath me. And that's the attitude that we ought to have as believers, that there's nothing beneath us, and we should be looking for ways to serve others. Mark 10:45 says this. Jesus says, "The Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and give his life as a ransom for many." That verse was very pivotal for me and my family when we came to Forks to plant the church. We wanted to come in with the posture of a servant and to serve our community, because we knew that Forks was an affluent community, and if we're going to gain the respect and trust of the community, we're going to have to come in and serve the community. So that started things like being at Forks Community Days, doing hot chocolate at the Forks Christmas tree lighting, just looking for ways where we can give back to the community, looking for ways to serve the community. So I coached youth sports, looking for ways where we as a church can inhabit the space of our community and be a servant. And I would say that posture over the last 10 years is one of the reasons why we're growing like we are the last couple of years. I had a pastor from a local church tell me, it's going to take 10 years for you to really see that church established. He's right. But what has helped us is having that posture of a servant, looking for ways to serve. So here's another example of looking for ways to serve. My daughters, who are still in elementary school, came home, and there was a form where the school is trying to help families who have needs, maybe needs for clothing needs, food needs, Thanksgiving, or maybe even at Christmas. So I got this form and said, this is the kind of thing we want to be part of. And I emailed the person in charge at the school saying, could we potentially partner with the school on this? And they said, we would love to collaborate with Forks Community Church. Well, what are we doing? This is a way for us to serve. And the school's already doing it, so let's partner with them and help them serve families in our community. So let's just think about this for a moment. How could an act of serving someone, whether it's raking their leaves, right, or sitting and listening to them, helping them through an emotional struggle, how could the act of serving lead to another opportunity to then share the gospel with them? And this could be personal story. This could even be maybe an illustration from Scripture as well. Walk the walk, yeah. Talk the talk, yeah. Yeah, it's both. So when Acts 1:8, Jesus says, you're going to be my witnesses, right? How does that witness show up in the book of Acts? It's words and deeds. And we see the apostles preaching, we see the words, we see Philip preaching, but we also see the deeds as well. Peter healing in Acts chapter 3. We see the church as a whole selling their property to help meet the needs of others. And because of their witness as a church, not only through worshiping and prayer and gathering together and meeting the needs of others, it tells us at the end of Acts 2 that because of that, people were being added to the church daily. People were coming to Christ. So we need to be proficient at knowing the word, proclaiming the word, but also showing the love and living it out, right? Faith and deeds come together, right? And that's what we're trying to be here at FCC. Yeah, Erwin, did you have a thought, brother?
Yeah, I have a little story. I had a bird once, and
Bird, you said?
bird.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so what I'm hearing you say, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, there's sometimes we want to help others, but we really need wisdom to know what that help should look like. Yeah, those are...
It's a struggle for me.
Because I got to understand, as I'm talking about serving, some people are often concerned, well, I don't want to become a doormat, right? And we want to be merciful, but yet I think we can be wise in how we exercise that mercy. And I'm not sure we're going to solve that here, but this could be, yeah. Yeah. So here's like a scenario. The men's ministry has talked before about what if we helped with people's needs in the community, like a widow whose grass needs to be mowed or leaves need to be raked, all right? So supposedly we start doing that and word gets out, right? And now we've almost become like a business, right? So you need wisdom on how this, yeah. So those are good problems to have, right? And you need wisdom to think through that. So as we think about beginning to pray, we're praying for opportunities. In that act of listening, we can be picking up on opportunities where we can help serve people, or even as we're around the table eating with someone, where we're hearing them talk about maybe places where there's pain in their life. Okay, we'll see where there's some brokenness there. Maybe God might use me to help address that brokenness in their life. So we're just looking for opportunities where we can help serve people. Okay, one resource that came to mind, we had used this resource in a small group probably 5 or 6 years ago. It's called The Art of Neighboring, and it's actually a video course on Right Now Media that our church has a subscription to. So if you want to read the book, you can find it on Amazon. But if you also want to go through the video course, we can get you access to that. It's just, how can I be a neighbor for Christ right in my community? I think we need to be patient and work with God. Jesus says, I am working because the Father's working. So when I was still involved with church planning, my supervisor would always encourage us church planners to be asking the question, to be praying, Lord, where are you working, and help me to join in that work. And it's the same with people. Sometimes we're trying to force it too hard, right? And it's like you're going to overwhelm them. Like, they're not ready for that. You got to work with what you're seeing. So, Erwin, I think these are good things that we're wrestling with, right? And I think the fact that we're wrestling with them, it shows that we're taking God seriously. We're taking the command seriously to be a witness for Him. So, but don't go the other way and act as if I'm the Lord of the harvest, right? He is.